So let's begin with the CSS Profile. The CSS Profile is basically a financial aid application. It's completely online, and it's required by about 200 colleges and universities and a few scholarship programs throughout the country. If you need to know if a school requires the CSS Profile, the best thing to do is go to that college's financial aid webpage. There is a page on the CSS Profile website that shows participating colleges and universities. Most of the schools that use the CSS Profile are on that page, but it is an optional opt-in for schools to list themselves on that page. So we always tell people, if you really need to know which schools are requiring which financial aid applications, which you do if you're requiring or you're applying for financial aid, go to every school's financial aid webpage and find out the requirements and their due dates. Every college and university that requires the CSS Profile also requires the FAFSA. So if you're doing the profile for a school, you also do have to do the FAFSA. The FAFSA is not available till December. We'll talk about that, but you will have to do the FAFSA as well. The CSS Profile, or we call it Profile for short, is used to award non-federal financial aid funds. So the schools that use it usually have a significant amount of their own money, college funds, or we call them institutional funds, that they can award to families. So they use the profile to award their funds. They're basically gathering more information from families and then determining which of their funds they'd like to give to each family who's applying for financial aid. The CSS Profile opens October 1st, which is Sunday. It does actually look like it's already open. So if you're, after you watch this webinar, anxious to start applying and filling out that profile, you might actually be able to get on now. I was on the profile website earlier today. It looks like you're actually able to register and start the application. It might be that they just opened it and you can't actually fill out the entire application yet, but you will be able to do so by Sunday, October 1st. So it does open very soon. The profile is available for both domestic and international students, whereas the FAFSA is really for just domestic students. A lot of colleges use the profile also for their international student population. Institutions that use the profile and require it do so for a few reasons. One is that it actually asks for more detailed information than the FAFSA. And we'll go into what the questions are on the profile and the FAFSA, but the FAFSA asks for basic income and asset information, household information. The profile goes into more details, and we'll go through what those details are and what the profile actually asks for. But institutions use it because they get to collect more information from every family, and they believe this gives them a better idea of a family's eligibility for financial aid. What schools want to do is really determine who needs their financial aid funds. And so they feel like the profile allows them to get a better picture of a family's financial situation, and thereby they're able to more equitably give out their financial aid to those families. The profile also allows schools to ask customized questions. So if I'm a college and I want to ask every family applying for financial aid a specific question that's not on the FAFSA and not on the profile, I can actually add a customized question. So schools love that they can add in any question they want. And the profile also has a special circumstances section where families can type in anything they'd like, and that message goes right to the financial aid office everywhere where you've sent the profile. So if I'm a family and I have a unique situation, maybe I have a lot of family members living with me and I'm providing their financial support, and I want the financial aid office to know that, I can type that into the special circumstances section, and every financial aid office that receives my profile will get that message. Here's where you will start with the CSS Profile. This is the home page. So you see, I'm going to go just around with some different points on the home page that you should make note of. You'll see that high school seniors should apply for 24-25. So if you have a high school senior and you're applying for financial aid, you're going to think about what year in school will the child be that we're applying for financial aid for. So if I have a high school senior, we're applying for financial aid for the 2024-25 academic year. So that's the profile and the FAFSA that you're going to fill out, that 24-25 application. You can see on the home page that list I referenced, which is participating schools and scholarships. So again, this is a pretty comprehensive list. You can check there to see all of the schools that require the profile. Again, just to be sure, if you have your list of where your high school seniors applying, I would go to the financial aid webpage of each of those colleges just to make sure you know exactly what's required. But this is a pretty comprehensive list that you can click to right from the profile homepage of the participating schools, so those schools that require this application. In the middle there, you see learn how to apply. That's just some tips about completing the profile. There's also some tips about completing the profile for the non-custodial parent. We'll talk about that in more detail. There is a resource for Spanish-speaking families, and then at the top there are some more links. So this is just an overview of what you'll see when you go to that profile homepage. You can simply type in csprofile.org into your browser and you'll get to this page. If you click on that link that says participating schools, you'll get to this page. So you can see for every school, there's a CSS code. That's basically just a code that the College Board has assigned to each school. You've got the institution name, the state where it's located, and then a listing of whether the profile is required for domestic students and whether it's required for international students. Then you'll see if the profile is required for non-custodial parents. And again, we'll go into more detail about that. And then whether the profile school uses iDoc. That's basically a scanning service. And we'll explain that in a bit as well. But this is just an overview of, it does give you a good idea of what schools are using the profile and different aspects of the profile that they're using. So here are some additional resources on the home page. So below that first screenshot that I just showed, this is what you'll see. So there's just some more resources, information about fee waivers, international students, divorced and separated parents. All of this we'll go over today in the webinar. But as you're navigating through the application, if you have some questions or you're not sure about one of these categories, you can click and get more information. At the bottom of the home page is that video you'll see. This is a quick, I believe it's a 3-minute video, just a nice overview of the application you can watch before you start. Just gives you, again, another overview about what you'll see.